Welcome to the Fandom Everything YouTube channel. We would like to let all our viewers know that this YouTube is meant for mature audiences. In other words, not meant for minors. Viewers' discretion is advised for any of our videos that we post on this YouTube channel. Any minors who are still watching after this disclaimer, we hold no responsibility for you. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the video.
Hey, this is your local Kovu, co-owner of Fandom Everything. This is my content. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sure you guys are looking at the title of this video and are thinking, wow, this guy is a huge nerd. Get a life. But I feel like I need to make this video, because of the mature themes this character displays, and why I can connect to her feelings. I also may do some similar character studies in the future. Now, before we begin, this character is from a well-known internet show called Helluva, created by Brandon Rogers and Vivian Medrano, who are kind of famous on the internet for things like writing and animation. It started out as a silly pilot way back in 2019 and blossomed into creation a year later. Like everyone else, I've been keeping track of each episode and enjoying every one, but this video specifically is about one character entirely, Octavia. Octavia is the daughter of Stolas, the horny owl demon who is obsessed with Blitz, one of the main characters. And at first glance, he was shown to be some sort of comic relief villain character from what we saw in the pilot. But this episode featuring the introduction of Octavia changes what you see. You see what his family life is like, you see his interactions with his daughter, and you can really feel the deep bond that he has with her. Octavia is such an interesting character to talk about. Even her presence just ebbs how she feels. You'll see this later. The start of episode 2 shows Via as a child crying for her mum and dad after a bad dream. Stolas is then told to get up and handle it. He then walks into the room. As soon as he opens the door, you can instantly feel the good dad vibes coming off of him with the calmness of his voice. Octavia describes the dream, which may sound like nothing at first, but just listen.
I was looking all over the palace, and I couldn't find you anywhere. You weren't there.
There, Via, it's okay. You're okay.
Young Via's dream included her dad not being there. He wasn't there. This dream speaks volumes of what could possibly happen in the future of the show, and this shows she has a deep fear of losing someone she cares about, and that she loves her dad to death. Stolas then sings a song to calm her fears. Then it cuts to the future, with Via now grown up as a teenager waking up to the usual screaming, going through her usual routine while sticking on music and heading off to have food. She's clearly used to this, as we will learn later of how long she had to put up with this chaos. She then enters the kitchen and grabs some food whilst an argument between Stolas and Stella drowns the room, the consequence of Stolas' actions for sleeping with Blitz. After the argument ensued, Stolas tries to please Via. She sounds empty and more distant to her father compared to when she was younger. Stolas then mentions Lululand, a place Via loved as a child. She naturally protests this, but still is forced to go. Stolas then calls Blitz and casually talks sexually to him in front of his daughter, which they both freak out over. Fast forward to when they actually reach Lululand. They begin to enter, and you can clearly tell how embarrassed Octavia feels. Even when she asks, "Do we have to?" she immediately gets interrupted by Blitz telling Stolas to not try anything at the park, which Stolas blatantly ignores. Then you see the Lululand mascot. Via, not being interested, questions the authenticity of Lululand.
Via, it's Lulu!
I have a question.
Well, ask away, little girlie.
Is it true this park is just a really shameless spin-off of Lucifer's far more popular Lulu World?
No?
This place reeks of insecure corporate shame.
Why don't we go check out the rides?
Then, as they travel deeper into the pits of Lululand, you see Stolas hitting on Blitz in public, in which Via comments get a room. Afterwards, Stolas reminds Via of a show she used to like as a kid, which triggers a flashback of Via not enjoying the local robo-clown, known as the Robo-Fizzarali. This guy's design is a delight. Seriously, you gotta love that jester hat thing. She is then forced to watch the show, and from the visuals, despite how funny it looks, you can tell the show has destroyed her on the inside. She eventually breaks and storms off. Stolas then chases her into a weird play zone of sorts. He then finds her on an apple ride. And Despite all the silliness this episode ensues, this is a very somber and emotionally riveting scene, and I love seeing it each time. Octavia finally breaks down in front of Stolas, saying she never even wanted to go to Lululand.
I take it you are not having fun.
I didn't even want to come here.
I'm sorry, sweetie. I thought you loved it here.
When I was a kid and my parents didn't hate each other. My dad didn't flirt with some weird red dickhead the entire time.
I'm sorry, Via. I'm sorry for everything happening right now. I know it's a lot. I should have listened.
I just want to go home. But home doesn't even feel like home anymore. You ruined it.
You need to understand. Your mother and I felt... She's always been... I haven't been... We weren't in... I'm sorry, I don't have the words.
She expresses how she used to love it when her parents went fighting all the time, clearly indicating that the Stolas and Blitz hookup has been going on for a long time now, explaining how she was so used to it all at the beginning of the episode. Even when Stolas tries to explain his side and what he's been going through, he just can't. And that is such a real thing, and to try and explain something so deep and personal, this is incredibly dramatic and hard-hitting. You can see both sides of the argument here, and then you see Octavia's fear broaden again. What's beautiful here is that Stolas comforts Via, telling her he'll never run away, ever.
Are you gonna run off with him? And leave me behind? Go away where I can't find you?
What? No. No, never. I'd never do that. Never.
They then leave at the exit gate, and have a cheerful conversation on what to do next, in which Via responds with going to Stylish Occult. They both joke and laugh, and then Blitz insults RoboFizz and passes out. And, well, that's the episode. I did leave out some bits, including the Imp team, since I'm mainly focusing on Via. Just watch the episode, it's so good. Now let's do some character comparison. Now a big clue here is with what Octavia is wearing. You notice the beanie cap, the jacket, the whole punkish vibe she's got going on? Kinda reminds me of someone from Oregon. The faux punk slut herself, Chloe Price. These two have a lot in comparison. They both love their dads to death, they have abandonment issues, and they don't even feel at home anymore, with Chloe even mentioning that she wants to leave Arcadia Bay multiple times. I wouldn't be surprised if Octavia either joins IMP, or runs away from home. Heck, even just listen to these scenes. They feel so similar, it's crazy.
Yeah, I put them up. She was my angel. After my dad died and you moved, I felt abandoned.
Are you gonna run off with him? And leave me behind? Go away where I can't find you?
It's no surprise I brought her up, because I've played Life is Strange before, and ever since I found out about Via, it just ebbs those punk teenager wants to escape their cage vibes. And I'm a sucker for those types of characters. I really should be ashamed of myself. Now, we don't know if Octavia will actually run away, or if something terrible will happen to Stolas, because we're only 5 episodes in and anything can happen, but it's always interesting to wonder what could happen. Also, if you've seen any of my other content posted on Twitter and YouTube, where I chuck Life is Strange music on top of Helluva Boss, you can kind of see this coming from a mile away. So why do I relate to this character so much? What is it about her that I connect with? Well, I'll tell you. I am afraid of losing people. And being left behind. I've been in dead-end friendships before, and you know when they say they care, and ultimately end up ditching you, and you end up feeling like you've been left in the dust, and I feel her pain, I really do.
I thought you loved it here.
When I was a kid and my parents didn't hate each other. My dad didn't flirt with some weird red dickhead the entire time.
I know exactly what this feels like. And it just sucks. You feel such a connection to someone, and they just go, and then it turns into a fear of losing literally everything, and you desperately hold on to anything in order to never let it go. It's such a very deep and personal thing to experience, and sometimes it feels the subject isn't taken as seriously as it should. And then I saw this episode, and that one scene toward the end was so great, and I felt that. Oh god, and all this talking about myself is kinda dull. I'm sorry. On a brighter side, I did look up her clothing and what she wears, and I'm kind of going for that look myself, with a kind of punkish Life is Strange kind of deal going on. Gotta rock that beanie cap. I'd like to thank Vivian Medrano, Brandon Rogers, and everyone at the Spindlehorse team who actually worked on this episode. I know it's dumb liking something like this, but it's so refreshing to see meaningful writing that can actually affect me like this. It's so surreal, and I can't wait to see what more you'll do with this character, and I'm gonna stick around and see how she develops as a character. Anyways, this is enough of Kobu rambling. See you guys around.
Thank you, dear viewer, for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment or even share the video. See y'all next time!